Okay, hello friends. Hello. Good afternoon, actually. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, my dear friends from class 5th and 6th. Welcome to me and math classes. Welcome to our latest YouTube session. Welcome. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. So whoever wants to say anything or write anything, what what you need to write then is that you try to write any message you want to write, and then along with your name. So whenever I ask you something, maybe I ask you a question, or you have to answer. When we do the Olympiad level questions here, you have to tell me the answer along with your name, so that I know. So good afternoon, Divyanshi Mohanty. Good afternoon, Janesha. And Uzair Amin is here, I think. Hariom, Nilshad, everybody else who has joined us. Good afternoon and welcome to me and math classes. Let's have a fun discussion about maths in the next 1 hour, and let's try to learn something while having fun. Okay? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome everybody. Good afternoon. So good to see you guys here in the chat box. Good afternoon. Welcome to me and math classes. Yes, Janesha and Divyanshi Mohanty and Uzair Amin and Hariom Nishad and others. Brajesh Singh, kindly write your name. Good afternoon, uh, along with your, message. Okay. So today we are going to discuss about percentage. Okay. So what we'll do is we will discuss. We'll try to. Since I know you have been studying it in your classes, what we'll do is we'll revise a bit, and then we'll start doing Satish boy. Okay. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Satish boy. So we'll discuss some of percentage. We'll try to revise parts of the basics of it, and then we can go move to the questions. All right. But before that, first of all, what we need to know is the star student of the week, isn't it? We do it every week. We tell you who the star student of the week is, and who is the star student of the week? It is simply the student who has attended his weekly classes regularly, comes on time, answers every question, and uh, performs well in the class, tries to understand the topics, and does the problems like the teacher tells him to solve it. And then he does his weekly homeworks on time also. So when he does his weekly homeworks accurately and on time, and when he attends the classes regularly and does all the things the teacher tells him in the class, then he becomes the star student of the week, isn't it? So, who is the star student of the week? Let's unveil him first. For this week, it is. So for this week, it is Adam Johan. Okay. So congratulations to Adam. Adam, and I hope to see many of you next week in this first page of the Star Student of the Week. And I know you guys can do it. You can come and become the Star Student of the Week and be on YouTube. And then you can tell your friends at school that I'm on YouTube. I've just become the Star Student of the Week on Me and Matt, so I'm on YouTube. You can check it out, isn't it? So you can do that, and you can become the Star Student of Week, as I told you, by doing your daily homeworks and your assessment, whatever your uh, teacher sends you accurately, correctly, and on time. And then you have to attend your classes regularly and do all the things the teacher tells you properly, and you it will be quite easily you can become the star student of the week. Okay, so I hope and wish that many of you become the star student of the week in the coming months and weeks. Okay, so let's move on. So next we will start with a riddle. Okay, so wait, So tell me, I if I look at you, you look at me, I raise my right and I raise your left. Okay? What is this? It means I look at you, you look at me, I raise my right, you raise your left. What is this? What will be this? I actually, there was the answer in front of you, but I tried to hide it quickly. Now tell me, if I look at you, you look at me, I raise my right, you raise your left. What is this? Yes, so most of you are saying a mirror, like Hariom Nishad, Prince Satish, Uzair Ami, Rakesh Arya, Janesha has said shadow. So I look at you, you look at me. I raise my, but a shadow doesn't look back at you like that, like a mirror. So it will be a bit, yeah. Many of the things what is written there, shadow does, but not all. So I look at you, you look at me, I raise my right. When you raise your right hand in the mirror, you feel that on the image, the left hand is being raised, isn't it? So it will be a mirror, isn't it? So that was your riddle for the day. Okay, I hope you like the riddle. You can tell your friends. Okay, Ayushi, well done. So mirror. So you can tell your friends that at school also this riddle that if I look at you, you look at me. If I raise my right, you raise your left. What am I? Isn't it? So you can then see if they know it is a mirror. So let's move. So for after this, what I want to do is I want to appreciate all the learners who join us regularly or every Sunday on this YouTube live and answer questions properly and are interactive and try to learn something and also try to perform well in the Olympiad level questions which we'll do later on. So all the students like Prince Satish, Satish Boy who has joined today also, and Uzair Amin and Divyanshi Mohanty and Zeba Hamid was there, and other students also were Hariom Nilshad today, and so, write your Janesha and everybody else. Whoever is texting, kindly write your name along with your answer. Everybody else who join us and are interactive and join us regularly every Sunday and try to learn something from this YouTube live. We want to let you know that you are appreciated and we hope that you continue like this. All right. So a big round of applause, and I'll be sending you many emojis like this since you guys are very good here and I think in the classes also. Okay. So let's move. Okay, so first of all, let's revise a bit about percentages and how we are going to do the question, isn't it? So can anybody tell me what percentage means? Simple, some simple definition in the chat box. You can write your name along with it. Who will tell me what percentage means? A simple definition you can give in the chat box. Who will tell me what percentage means? Yes, percentage. What does percentage mean? I'll write it down. Who will tell me a simple definition? Percentage. Who will tell me? Any simple definition in the chat box. Write your name along with it. What is percentage? Or what is a percentage? Who will tell me? Percent means 100. Okay, this is your close but not very accurate. Okay, Uzair, but I need the proper definition. Anybody else who can try? Good try, Uzair. Anybody else? Anybody else who wants to try the question? Percent out of 100. Very good. Yes. Okay. Multiply by 100. That's not very accurate, but you are close. So percent per each, as Satish boy is saying, and cent out of 100. Yes. So what it basically means when we are trying to compare. Okay. When we are trying to compare and we want to bring things in standardized form, what we usually do, we think out of 100. Percent means out of 100. It means a fraction with a denominator 100. For example, if I write 40 by 100, isn't it out of 100? I told you if I write 40 by 100. So it will mean 40%. So I told you percentage can be simply defined as a fraction with a denominator 100, isn't it? Because 40 by 100 will be what? 40%, isn't it? So basically what we are doing here in terms of percentage, what we try to understand is, for example, we try to standardize that if, for example, Satish, if Satish gets, uh, maybe there is a test and he gets 17 out of 20 marks, okay? And Uzair is in some another school, some other school, and what Uzair gets are 16 out of 20. Not 16 out of 20, 16 out of 25. This is just an example. So Satish gets 17 out of 20, Uzair gets 16 out of 25. So we need to understand that if they, so the denominator is different, isn't it? It means that we cannot actually compare the marks they have, isn't it? We have to turn them into like fractions actually. If you remember fractions, then only, because these are unlike fractions, 17 by 20 and 16 by 25. 25, you either do the butterfly method or you have to turn them into like fractions, but we turn them into like fractions. But what we do here, we standardize in percentage, meaning we turn this denominator for both of them into 100. Okay, so for 17 by 20, what I do is I turn it into 100 by 17 by 20. I can do what? I can multiply 20 by 5 and 17 by 5. Also, 17 fives are 85, isn't it? So it will become 85 by 100. So Satish will have scored 85%. Percent sign is like that, a dash and a zero, small zero on the top and the small zero at the bottom. And similarly, Uzair has 16 by 25, isn't it? So Uzair, if I turn 16 by 25 with the denominator 100, I'll do 25 into 4 and 16 into 4, isn't it? 25 into 4 is 100, so the denominator becomes 100, and 16 into 4 is what? 64, isn't it? So for Uzair, we can say he has 64%. Okay, so this is simply an example. Okay, so there are other methods to convert these fractions into percentage, but first you need to know is what we do, why we consider percentage. We consider percentage so that we can standardize different things into, we if we want to imagine that he has this much out of this much. So we what we do is we standardize. We think that if the quantity was 100, how much does he have? Every time we imagine that the total quantity is 100. Okay, that is a percentage. Okay, then out of those 100, how many does he have? How many does he or she have? So for example, if Janesha has 25 green apples out of 40 total apples. Total apples were in a box and 25 are green apples. Now, how many green apples would she have if there were 100 apples in total? So we'll do that only. In this case, so 40, like in the earlier question, I made it into a denominator 100. So for this 40, I can make it into a denominator 100 by multiplying by 2.5 and 2.5. But I would do that. The easier method here is to multiply this fraction by 100 and you will get the percentage. This is the easiest method, isn't it? Whenever you get a fraction, you have to turn it into a percentage. You multiply it with 100, isn't it? So the 25 out of 100 will become 5 eights are and 5 20s are, then 5, sorry, 2 fours are, 2 tens are, then 2 twos are, and 2 fives are, isn't it? Then 20, uh, 25 into 5 is how much? 125, and 125 by 2 will become, this will actually become 62.5%. Okay, so 62.5 apples will be green apples if the total are how many? 100. So it means if Janesha had 25 apples, 25 green apples out of a total 40 apples. Now imagine if the total apples were 100, how many green apples would be there? It would be 62.5. Okay, so this is where percentage helps us. It helps us imagine that if there are different quantities and you have to compare them, then what you do is that everybody, you imagine that the total quantity is 100, and out of 100 how much am I getting, or how many marks am I getting, how many of my apples are green, or whatever the question asks us. So what we do is, in percentages, we imagine that the total is 100 and we see how much out of 100, either marks or anything, I am getting. Okay, and there are methods to it. So if you have a fraction, you multiply that fraction by 100 and that would turn into a percentage, isn't it? Similarly, what you also need to know in a percentage is, so if I'm trying to find percentage of something, so for example, I ask you what is 40% of 200. Okay, how do you do that? It means, what is 40% of 200? Isn't it? It means, what is, if 200, some quantity of 200 is equal to 40%. Out of 200, some quantity is 40%. What is that quantity? So how we do this also? If you remember, we do 40 by 100, we convert it into its fraction. So 40% is 40 by 100. You know it. I just gave you the definition. It is with denominator 100. Of turns, this off word or out of word turns into a multiplication sign, isn't it? And we multiply it with 200. So whenever we are trying to find an quantity out of a quantity, we multiply it. The fraction, we multiply it with the total quantity. So 40% of 200 will be 40 by 100 into 200, which will be 100 ones, 100 twos. So this will turn 40 into, yes, so it will be 80, not 80%. This will be 80. We are finding the quantity here. The percentage is given from, it is not 80%. It is, the quantity is given from the side of the question only. So we needed to find 40% of 200. 40% of 200 is 80, meaning that if I had got, if I divide 80 by 200 and turn it into a percentage by multiplying with 100, it will be 40. But in this case, when I'm finding 40% of 200, I do 40 by 100. I turn it into a fraction. Of or out of turns into multiplication sign, and then into the total quantity, and that is 80. So 40% of 200 is 80. Okay, so you also need to remember this in the percentage. Okay, so these are some of the basics of percentage. We need to know that a percentage is nothing but uh, but a fraction with a denominator 100. We turn things into a percentage to standardize. So if as I told you that if people are in different schools and somebody is getting 22 marks out of 30 and another person is getting 16 marks out of 20, okay, then we need to compare. If they were sitting on the same test, how many marks would they get? Then we imagine both of these sat on a test with 100 marks. That is what percentage is. So 16 by 20 we also multiply by 100, and then 22 by 30 we also multiply by 100, and we get marks out of 100. Okay, so we imagine this, that if both of them sat for a test with 100 marks, how many marks would they get? Okay, then if we have to get, we need to get 40% of something or 30% of something, we turn that 30% into fraction form. So 30 by 100 or 40 by 100, and off or out of becomes the multiplication, because when we are trying to find a fraction out of something, we use the multiplication, isn't it? So 40 by 100 into 200 will become the off becomes into or out of becomes into or the multiplication sign. 40 out of 100 into 200 is 80 like this. Okay, let's move on. Now, the first question. Who will tell me what is 25% of 16 seconds? Who will tell me? Come on. So the first question is very easy. I already showed you how you can do it. So 25% of 16 seconds, I'll give you 2 minutes and you guys have to tell me along with your name the answer. Along with your name the answer you have to tell me. Who will tell me? 25% of 16 seconds. Who will tell me the answer? Janesha says 64, 25% of 16. I don't think that can be the correct answer. Think about it. I'm saying out of 16, how much is 25%? So I told you 25% of 16. How will you do it? 25 off becomes multiplication sign and 25 you have to make in fractional form. Okay, Satish boy is giving the answer as 4. Anybody else who wants to give the answer? 4 is the correct. Uzair also says 4. Satish boy says 4. Anybody else? Hariom Nilshad says Hariom Nishad says 4. Anybody else? Well done, Uzair. Well done, Satish boy. Well done, Hariom Nishad. Janisha, good try. Think about it again. Aradhna says 4. Very good. Aradhna also says 4. Anybody else? Ayushi, it's not 4%. It is 4 because we are not here finding the percentage. The percentage is given in the question that we are finding 25% of 16. How much is 25% of 16? It will be 4, not 4%. 25% ऑफ 16 16 में से 25% कितना है 4 है दिव्यांशी says 4 ओके ओके सतीश आराधना says 4 well done divyanshi well done hariom nishad well done satish well done and uzair well done everybody who is giving 4 as the answer as 4 is indeed the correct answer how I'll show you so 25% of 16 becomes 25% becomes 25 by 100. Isn't it? I just showed you while making you revise it. So percentage is a number with denominator 100, then 25 by 100 of 16 becomes into 16. This of becomes the multiplication sign. So 25 by 100 into 16, isn't it? So then we can solve it. We can say two 8s are 16 and two 50s are. Then we can say 25 ones and 25 twos. And this turns it into 8 by 2 and 8 over 2 is 2 ones are 2 and 2 fours are 8 so the answer becomes 4 not 4% 4 it will mean that 4 seconds 4 seconds out of 16 seconds 4 seconds out of 16 seconds are 25%. This is what the question means. It means what is 25% of 16 seconds? It is 4 seconds are 25% of 16 seconds. You get it? It means that if 4 seconds are 25% of 16 seconds, means that if there were similarly 100 seconds, how much will be 25%? 25. This is what it means. We change, we try to understand that out of I am taking 25% of 16 seconds. It means if there were 100 seconds, I would be taking out 25. But here there are 16 seconds only. We okay? Then we will take out 4 seconds. This is what it means when we are finding 25% of 16 seconds. Next. Okay. So now 7% of 640 GB. The GB doesn't matter, as you know. It is the unit of storage in computers, isn't it? So 7% of 640 you have to find, or 60 GB is the unit. So try it. 7% of 640 GB. Similar question. Who will give me the answer? I'll give you 2 minutes. 7% of 640 GB or 7% of 640. Who will tell me what the answer is? 7% of 640. Come on, like the earlier question, do it. Come on, Satish. Come on, Divyanshi. Come on, Aradhna. Hariom, Nishad, Uzair, Ayushi, everybody. Come on. Gayatri, you have not put the decimal. You are giving the right answer. But Divyanshi, I mean, Divyanshi, write your name, but you are not putting the decimal. Okay, Uzair has given the right answer. Good. Uzair, you didn't put your name in the answer. Come on. Others, write the answer and write your name. Hariom Nishad is a bit off the mark. Try again. Satish says 44.8. Uzair says 44.8. Okay, now I think Divyanshi also says 44.8. Rakesh Arya is. Janesha says 44.8. Anybody else who wants to answer? Hariom Nishad, I think, has got you're a bit off the mark. Check again. So 7% of 640 we needed to find, isn't it? So 7% becomes 7 by 100, as I showed in the earlier question also. Of 640 is into 640, isn't it? Then then we can simplify it. We cut the zero first, isn't it? Then two fives are two, 32s are. Okay. Then you can do 7 into 32 divided by 5, isn't it? And 7 into 32 is what? Is 224. And when I divide 224 by 5, okay, it comes as 44.8. So 7% of 640 is 44.8 GB, isn't it? So what we got is we got the answer in GB because we are trying to find 7% out of 640. 7% 640 में कितना होता है? ठीक है? 7% 640 में से कितना होता है? How much is 7% out of 640? ओके, 7% 640 में से होता है 44.8. 44.8 is indeed the correct answer. So 7 by 100 into 640 on solving becomes 44.8. So well done, Uzair and Dibyanshi and Ayushi and everybody else who answered, Satish. Okay, and everybody else who tried also try harder. Very, very good. You guys are also trying very well. Don't worry. So now, next question. Another question. So what is 45% of 3 mm? 45% of 3 mm. Come on, guys, try it. 45% of 3 mm. Who will answer? I'll give you 2 minutes. 45% of 3 mm. You have 2 minutes to solve it. Come on, guys. 45% of 3 mm. Who will solve it? I'm waiting for the answer. Uzair, Hariom Nishad, and Satish, and Janesha, and Ayushi, and Divyanshi. Everybody else. Okay, Gayatri, there is Divyanshi. Okay, Divyanshi is giving the answer. Anybody else who wants to give the answer? Okay, Uzair has given the answer. Uzair has given the answer. Divyanshi has given the answer. Anybody else? Write your names along with your answers. Rakesh Arya, write your name along with the answer. Everybody should write their name. Janesh, I think Rakesh Arya is. But write your name along with the answer. So 45% of 3 mm, 1.35 is the correct answer, Satish is saying. So what is 45% of 3 mm? We will just solve it like 45, 1.35, well done, well done. Most of you have given the correct answer. So 45 by 100, I'll write 45%, and of 3 mm when I do it, it will be into 3. And 45 by 3, 45 into 3 is 135, isn't it? 135 by 100. We can simply do this division by moving the zeros because it is division by 100. So it becomes equal to 1.35 mm, isn't it? Since we are 3 mm में से कितना होगा 45%? 3 mm में से कितना होगा 45%? 1.35 mm. Well done, Aradhna. Well done, Uzair. Well done, Hariom, Nishad, Satish, Janesha, Dibyanshi, everybody else who has answered. Well done, guys. Very good. 1.35 is indeed the correct answer. You guys have done this question. Everybody has done this question correctly. Isn't it? This was how it was supposed to be done. Okay? You can check this out. So 45 by 100 into 3, 135 by 100. Now, next question, very easy, similar question. 80% of 450 people. 80% of 450 people. Who will do it? Who will give me the answer? 80% of 450 people. 80% of 450 people. Okay, Ayush, well done. 1.35 correct. Now find 80% of 450 people. Who will give me the answer? 80% of 450 people. So Satish has given the answer. 360 is the correct answer, Satish is saying. Anybody else who wants to answer? Okay, Uzair is saying 36.0. Okay, but Satish is saying 360. Let's see whose answer is correct. Janesha is 360. Hariom Nishad is saying 360%. As I said, it is not percent because we are finding percent is given in the question. We don't need the percent here. 80% of 450 people, it is saying. So 80% of 450 people will be how much? 80% 450 में से कितना होगा? 450 में से कितने लोग होंगे जो कि मेकअप करेंगे 80%? 360, 360, 360 is the answer, not percent. So 360 Aradhana is correct. Janesha 360 is correct. Uzair 336.0, he's saying no, I don't think so. 360 will be the answer, as Satish also said, and Aradhana also said, and Hariom said in percentage, but it is 360. Okay, Divyanshi has also said 360 at the start. Sorry, Divyanshi, I couldn't see your answer at first. So Divyanshi it has said 360 at first, then Satish has said 360, then Janesha 360, and everybody else who has said 360. Indeed, 360 is the correct answer. How? 80% will become 80 by 100 of 400 people will become into 450. Then we solve it. 0 gets cancelled with this 0. 5 twos and then 5 nines, isn't it? Then 2 ones and 2 40s. And 40 into 9 is what? 360. So indeed 360 people is the correct answer. 360 people will be the correct answer. So 80% of 450 people will be how many people? 360 people. Well done. Ayush, you have also answered 360. Aradhana and Uzair has 360, 36.0 written, but 360 is the answer. And everybody else, Divyanshi and Satish at the start, and then others also. Very well done. You guys have been very good today, and you are answering all questions well. Okay, now next question is not a straightforward question. You have to think about it. So, out of a salary of rupees 45,000, I kept 1/3 of it as savings. Okay, 1/3 of it of 45,000 I kept as savings. Out of the remaining money, so after I put the savings aside, out of the remaining, I spent 50% on food and 20% on house rent. How much do I spend on food and house rent? Okay, okay, Abhishek. Okay, Abhishek. Do the question. You have to write your name with your answer. That is why I told you write your name along with your answer. 45,000 I kept 1/3 as savings. 1/3 out of 45,000 were kept as savings. Okay. So first you have to subtract that from 45,000, isn't it? Then what out of the remaining money, 50% was spent on house rent, on food, sorry, and 20% on house rent. Try it. How much on food and how much on house rent? Come on, tell me. Think about it. First, find how much are the savings. Once you find how much are the savings, that needs to be subtracted out of the total salary. Once you get that amount that is left, find 50% of that and 20% of that. Whatever amount you have left. Then when you find 50% of that amount and 20%, so the 50% will be on food and 20% will will be on house rent. So how much on food and how much on house rent? Come on, find it. Uzair, you have sent an answer, but it doesn't make sense. Anybody else who wants to answer? Come on, I'll give you 2 more minutes and then we'll see who has answered. Just 2 more minutes I'll give you. Come on, Divyanshi, come on, Ayushi, and Aradhna, and Abhishek, and Janesha, and Uzair, and Satish, everybody, Divyanshi. Try to find the answer. You guys can do it. Come on. 45930 is the answer. How much do I spend on food and house rent? So I need the separate amount for food and separate amount for house rent. And it will be less than 45,000. How can it be 4593 if the salary is only 45,000? I think Uzair and Satish are doing it too quickly without thinking it. Think it through. Without thinking it through, you have to think about it properly and then answer. 1 minute is left, and then we'll see how we can do this question. Come on, guys. Come on, Divyanshi. Come on, Aradhna, Ayushi, everybody else. 15,750 Aradhna is saying. Okay. This is for what? Food or? Okay. Uzair is saying 21,000. Okay. Hariom Nishad is giving an answer which I don't think is the correct answer. Uzair is saying 21,000. Maybe that's the correct answer. Let's see what others say. Satish is saying 21,000 now also. Others, Ayushi, Divyanshi, anybody else who could solve the question? Or should I do it? Okay, let me show you how you could have done. So out of a salary of 45,000, I kept 1 by 3 as savings. Okay, so 1 by 3 was kept as savings. Let us find the savings first. So 1 by 3 of 45,000 I needed to find. Isn't it? 1 by 3 of 45,000 is how much? If I solve it, it is 3 ones. So it becomes actually 1 by 3 into 45,000, isn't it? And 1 by 3 into 45,000 is how much? 3 ones, 3 ones, 3 fives, and triple zero. So it will become rupees 15,000. Okay. Once it becomes rupees 15,000, the savings become rupees 15,000 are the savings. So I subtract out of the total salary 45,000, 15,000. So when I subtract out of 45,000, 15,000, I get how much? 30,000. Means 30,000 is left first. So once I get rupees 30,000 left, what I do? I spend 50 out of the remaining money, it is saying. Out of the remaining money. So what is the remaining money? 30,000. Out of the remaining, I spend 50% on food and 20% on house rent. How much do I spend on food and house rent means together? Okay. So 50% on food will mean 50% on food will mean 50% off. So 50 by 100 of 30,000, which if you calculate, obviously, two zeros are cancelled. So it will become 50% of 30,000 is 15,000, isn't it? So 15,000 is on food, and 20% it is saying on house rent. So that will become 20 by 100. 20% is 20 by 100 into 30,000. Again, if you solve it, it will become 6,000. So 6,000 will be on rent. Now, once you get how much for rent, how much for food, you can add these two up. 15,000 plus 6,000. So that will become 21,000. 21,000 is indeed the correct answer, as some of you have given. Yes, Ayushi has given, Uzair has given, and Satish has given, and many others have given. So well done to everybody who has found the correct answer. So 15,000 on food and 6,000 on house rent. Together therefore 21,000. Okay. So well done. Well done everybody who has given the right answer. Well done to also those who tried and were close. But this is how it is done. So you needed to subtract 1 by third as savings from the total money. So 45,000 minus 1 by 3 of 45,000 is 30,000. Then out of 30,000, 50% on food and 20% on house rent, it means 21,000. Eh? So Aradhana has also given the right answer. Ayushi also, and then uh, Satish and Uzair and everybody else who has given the right answer. Well done, well done. I'll send some emojis for you also. These are from me. Well done, guys. Abhishek has given the right answer also. Okay, so well done, guys. Now let's move to the next question. Okay, Rachel gets 94 marks in her exams. These are 47% of the total marks. Now, 94 are 47% of the total marks. Find the maximum number of marks. Now, again, the same question, the same concept will apply. Okay, think about the off concept. 47% of something is 94. You have to find something. Let's see if you are able to. 47% of a number is 94. What is the number? Since Rachel gets 94 marks in the exams, these are 47% of the total marks. Find the maximum number of marks. Means you have to maximum number means the total marks you have to find. Come on, who will answer this question? So Uzair is saying 200. Let's see what others say. Anybody else who wants to answer? So Abhishek is also saying 200. Anybody else? Well done, Uzair and Abhishek. Anybody else who wants to give the answer? Satish is saying 200. Okay. Anybody else who wants to give the answer? So Satish 200, Abhishek 200, Uzair 200. Anybody else? Anybody else who solved it? I'll give you 1 minute more, and then let me show you. Aradhana is saying 0.2, but 0.2 cannot be the maximum marks. You have done a bit wrong somewhere. So let's check. So 47% of a number or 47 of the total marks are 94. It is given in the question. So 47 by 100 into x or into this unknown into total. Let me write it as total only. Into total or maximum is equal to 200. Sorry, is equal to 94. It is written in the question. Now, in order to find this 94, what I will do, in order to find this total, I will cross multiply, or we can say that if it is divide on the other side, it will become multiply on the other side. So 94 into 100 by 47 is the answer. But 47 ones are 47 and 47 twos are 94. So the total marks will become how much? 200. So 200 are the total marks. Well done. Janesha is saying 200. Satish 200. Uzair 200. Abhishek 200. So you guys have given the right answer. Very well done to all of you. And anybody else who had a doubt, they can see how I did it. That 47% of the total is 94. In order to find the total, I'll just multiply 100 to the other side, cross multiply and divide it by 47, and I'll get 200 as the answer. Okay, well done, Janesha. Well done, Aradhana. Ayushi, I think you have done some mistakes somewhere. I have shown it on the screen now, so you guys can understand what the question was. I'll keep it on the screen for 30 seconds so that you guys understand. Okay, now let's move on to our last question for the day, which will be the Sunday bonus question. So, Sunday bonus question is yes, yes, Satish, the bonus question. Yes, very good, Satish. So, the bonus question is that if Mac requires 40% to pass, if he gets 190 marks and falls short by 10 marks, so actually Mac is failing. He falls short by how many marks? 10 marks. What are the maximum marks he could have got? Means how much is the maximum marks in the exam? How much are the total marks in exam? So Mac required 40% to pass. If he gets 190 marks, he falls short by 10 marks. So what are the passing marks? You can say they are 190. Okay, let's give you 2 minutes and I'll let you solve it for 2 minutes and then see what your answers are. So you guys have 2 minutes. Let's see. Who will answer? I'm waiting for your answer. Come on. Okay, Satish says 250. Let's see if what others are saying. Okay, Uzair says 500. Anybody else? Uzair says 500. Anybody else? Uzair says 500. Anybody else? I'll give you 1 minute more, then I'll explain. Abhishek says 475. Uzair says 500. Satish says 250. Okay, now since less time is left, let me explain. Aradhana says 500. Well done. So I think Uzair and Aradhana are correct. 500 is indeed the correct answer because so Mac requires 40% to pass. If he gets 190 marks, he falls short by 10 marks. It says if he gets 190 marks, he falls short by 10 marks. Means for the passing percentage is 40% and the corresponding passing marks are 190 plus 10, isn't it? So the passing marks are 200, which is 40% of the total marks. 200 should be the 40% of total marks. Yes, Satish, now you are giving the right answer. So 40, again, 40% of total or maximum, total, I can say total or max is 200. Now I need to find, like in the earlier question, I need to find the total. So 40 by 100 into total or maximum, total is maximum here, isn't it? Is 200. And when I solve it, it will become 200 into 100 by 40. That will be the total. So it will be 41s and 45s, and the total marks will become how much? 500. So 500 is indeed the correct answer. Satish, Aradhana, Uzair, and everybody else who got it correct in the end. 500 is indeed the correct answer. I hope you got it. I'll keep it on the screen for a minute so that you understand that 40% of total is 200. So 40 by 100 into total is 200. In order to find the total, 200 into 100 divided by 40. So total is 500. So the maximum marks he could have got are the total marks in the exam. That is how much the maximum anybody can get out of 500. I can get 500. That is what the question means. So the total will be 500, or the maximum marks he could have got is the maximum marks in the test or in the exam is 500. All right. So well done, you guys. That was the correct answer. Okay. And see you next week. And you guys did very good today. And let's see you next week. Okay. Bye bye. Have a nice day.